Welcome back to another edition of Ask Schmehl on MLive.com. I'm James Schmehl, Tigers reporter for MLive Media Group, and I'm here in beautiful Joker Marchant Stadium where it's a beautiful 70 degrees. And I bet the first question you're asking yourself is, James, why are you in blue jeans? And I'm asking the same question myself. But alas, let's move on to the first question, and that comes from Ellen of Brighton, Michigan. And she asked, James, does Nick Castellanos or Avisail Garcia actually have a legitimate shot at making this opening day roster? And Ellen, it's a great question and one that a lot of people are asking. Do they have a legitimate shot? Yes, of course they have a legitimate shot. There's about 6 players in camp right now that have a legitimate shot to win that platoon role alongside Andy Dirks in left field. But do I see it happening? Not really. Simply put, I really think the Tigers would like both Garcia and Castellanos to get some more at-bats, and in order to do that, either one or both of them need to be in AAA Toledo. Now that said, of the two, who has the better shot? That's a really good question too, and I would have to give that edge to Avisail Garcia. Why? Simply because he has had that major league experience. He went 3 for 4 with 3 pinch hits, and he drew a walk, obviously, in the postseason last year. He has experience playing in all these outfield spots, and he's really known as a great defensive player. I spoke to Avila of the Tigers at Tiger Fest a couple weeks back, and I asked him where he actually saw Garcia fitting best in the Tigers, and he said in right field. Obviously, he can play left field, he can play center, but Avila said he prefers to see him in right field simply because he does have that cannon arm, one of the best in the Tigers organization, and it would make sense to put him there simply because he can gun guys out at the plate. Now, as for Castellanos, there's still a lot of room for growth. He still is only 1 year fresh in that outfield, but I will say this, he looks great coming into camp. He's 218 pounds right now, a lot up from where he was at last year, where he was at 190. Now, of course, the big difference is when he came to camp last year, he was as a third baseman. That year, he ended up switching to right field, and then there's fall league went to left field. And I will say the big knock on Castellanos is he has to hit left-handed pitching, and that's going to be a big thing for him to work on this spring. He hit 160 for AA Erie last year. And to be honest with you, he needs to work on his discipline. And that's the one thing the Tigers need him to do in left field if he were to platoon with Andy Dirks, is hit left-handed pitching, obviously because the Tigers are going to use Andy Dirks against right-handed pitching. Now that said, I will say Castellanos' bat is still, I think, above Garcia's. He hit 320 between single-A Lakeland and AA Erie last year. And like I said, that bat speed is top-notch, and there's a reason he's the #1 prospect in the Tigers organization. So to answer your question, Ellen, will either of them make the opening day roster? I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I appreciate the question, and stay tuned for the next question on Ask Schmehl.